Hey guys, this is Miss J from the J Lounge, here to bring you guys another great episode, of course, of the J Lounge. You guys know we are a celebrity-based podcast where, of course, I talk with celebrities about various different topics and discussions, and I'm super excited and happy to be introducing you guys to my next guest. He is a filmmaker. He does it all for himself. He edits it, he produces, and he just does it all. So I cannot wait to pick his brain here. Everyone, give a warm welcome to Mr. Colton Tran. Hi, Colton.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm so good. Doing really good.
Oh, I'm so glad. I appreciate you being here. I know you are a busy man, so I do appreciate you taking your time.
Of course. Of course. It's weird. I have been lucky to stay busy during this quarantine, but it's also been very different. So it's been strange.
Right? I was gonna say it must be very strange though, because it's in a whole different way. So,
Yeah.
but now that I got you on here, I'm gonna go ahead and fire the first question at you. What began your passion for filmmaking?
It started when I was a kid. I grew up in Utah, and my my neighbor, he like lived two doors down from me, happened to be a film producer, director. Um,
Oh wow.
and yeah, so they moved in when I was about 10 years old, like two doors down, and his daughter Allison, she was my same age, and we just became good friends. And one day her dad was like, "Hey, do you guys want to come on and be an extra in this commercial I'm directing?" And we're like, yes. And we're
Yeah.
like 11 years old at this point. And so we did it, and then we literally fell just in love with the process of it. And so we were very fortunate to have, her dad be a filmmaker, because then he's like, "Hey, here, use this camera, like go shoot something. I'll teach you guys how to edit." So like, of course we started editing on iMovie, but like by the time we were 13, we were like editing on Final Cut Pro and like using Photoshop and like designing all of our own stuff. And so it gave us a really great head start with him mentoring us at that age. So that's kind of how it all began, and like the love for it, the passion for it. And um, me and her would just every day after school, we'd come home and like make movies, and like, so it was just really cool to have like a cool creative upbringing like that, and also a really supportive family. Like my family, you know, would always be like, "Oh, so you guys just made a movie? Well, let's let the whole family sit down and watch it." You know what I mean? Like it was just like the support was crazy with how they even just
Oh,
believed in it from like as a kid, because it takes someone to believe in you to like think like, "Great, I can do this," And so yeah, I ended up getting scholarships to college after, and then to film school, and yeah, I directed my first like actual professional film when I was like 16.
oh wow. I
Yeah.
was just roaming halls of high school at 16. He was making films at 16. Completely different level here, people. Completely different level. you know, Going on to the number two question, as a filmmaker, what stories do you like to tell?
I love. I've always been obsessed with horror since I was a kid.
Yay!
I love horror. So that's like my biggest passion. I love directing scary movies, but
Yes.
my passion for the types of films I love to do are because I also love like Tim Burton. I love his style. I love
Yes.
that whimsical darkness, and that's like ideally like films that I love to make. I love to have something stylistic but also scary, and it's like I love horror, but I wouldn't do like Saw or something like that, because it's like that's not really. I love watching those movies, but it's not like my realm of things that I would like to direct.
Mm.
So yeah, it's definitely more like a mixture of like a horror film, but like Beetlejuice. Like that's what. Yeah. Anyways.
Oh God. Yeah. Whenever I want to get my fill of spooky, yeah, just out of the box, I go for Tim Burton because
Yep.
there is no one better.
Literally not. He's the best.
Yeah. Going on to the number three question. What's been your most proud work as a filmmaker so far?
Um, I actually it's so hard to choose that, because it's like throughout your journey, like every different film and every different like creative endeavors, like that marks a different place in your life. You know what I mean? Like my first film that I did when I was like 16, 17 was really important to me, because that was the first time traveling to film festivals and like having people
Yeah.
respect your work, um and like that was a whole world. But I think the proudest thing today would have to be the feature film I just directed in January. And I edited the whole thing myself, and then now it's like out to Sony and like Netflix, and a couple people are like were shopping it to see who will pick it up. So that was like a really big accomplishment for me, because it was also the first time I was acting in one of my own films that I was directing. So it was my first feature, but also first time directing and acting in one of my films. So
Oh wow, that's incredible.
yeah, so
That
that's
is incredible. Yeah. I mean, that's a really at 16, 17. You know, most kids, yeah, they aspire to, actually, do filmmaking, but to actually do it and then actually going to film festivals, being seen, that's a whole different level.
it really is, and it was crazy too because I was 17, I was under 21, and a lot of these filmmakers they you fly out to the festivals and you tour with your film, but it's funny because like the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies you have to be 21 because there's like alcohol there, and I was like, cool, so I won an award, but I can't go to the
It's really cool.
that's cool. Can't go to the ceremony. That's awesome.
I love that. It's so cool. I just won an award, but I can't even go
Yeah,
in.
but I go. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
okay.
I think I would have the same attitude. So you're right on the money for that, because I would have the same attitude.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, cool. But it was, yeah, it was a really fun experience, and I've always loved traveling to festivals, and it's cool to
Right.
see. Yeah, it's just cool to see the type of different audiences that you get come to your movie and how they affect people and how they. My first film had nothing to do with the horror genre or anything that I really have a huge passion for. As a filmmaker, it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of more of like a heartfelt, like it was like a Christmas movie, like a heartfelt, like this girl is basically trying to like help her brother because he has like he's in the hospital. It's like more of like a cutesy at Hallmark sort of thing. But it was funny because when I was like going to festivals with that, I had these people come up to me after, and it was like this family, and he came up and he's like, I just want to let you know this connected with me more than you'd ever understand, and like his wife was getting emotional. At least you never understand how people are going to relate, and I
Right.
think that's the coolest part about being a filmmaker or just a storyteller in general, is that you you really can touch people in different ways that it's going to differ with every person, but it was just cool. It was cool to see how people respond to your work and how it means something to them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That has to be just, yeah.
Yeah,
I would just be speechless.
yeah, it's just cool. And like, thank goodness I've always been like, my mom's kind of like I am, like, just, and my dad too, very social people, very outgoing, because like, at that age, to be able to go up and talk about your films and do Q&As and things like that, you have to really be able to be most times like a social person, to really like get the word out there and like show the passion that you have for these projects. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to travel to film festivals one day. That is just an absolute dream of mine. It must have been just, yeah.
Are
Uh,
you are you located in Los Angeles?
I actually am located in Seattle, so we do have the Seattle Film Festival here.
Oh yeah, I've actually I've had my film there. I've also had my film this other festival called Gig Harbor Film Festival. Um,
No way!
yeah, it's so funny because it was like a little film festival, but it was really cool to go there because that little town is so cute.
Oh my goodness! I am not too far away from Gig Harbor. That's
That's funny.
crazy.
That's really funny. Yeah, I went there with my film. It was called Unpleasantville, and that was literally about like, I don't even know how long ago now, like 8 years ago, but still, it's pretty cool.
Ah, if you come back, please let me
I'll let you know if
know.
I do want to come back soon because I just love Seattle in general. Like, it's just beautiful, and I also love the weather. I'm not.
Yeah,
I love the snow. I love the rain. I also love the gloomy weather. So
I was gonna say that has to be creative for you. That has to inspire creativity, seeing the gloomy weather.
it
So,
really does. It really does.
yes, please let me know if you ever come back, because yes, I would love to see you at a film festival.
That'd
That'd
be
be
great.
awesome.
That would be amazing. Yeah, with especially with this feature now, we're
Yeah.
gonna do. I think we're gonna do a little film festival tour with it before we actually like release it. Because it's just like, again, it's just a fun experience to have your cast and crew and like, again, seeing different types of audiences experience the film, and and being there to witness it. Because if it goes like to a theatrical thing or goes to Netflix straight out, you can't really see people and like, what I'm saying, how they react. And that's what the funnest part about festivals is
Right.
like seeing your audience live, and how they how they respond to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's got to be the most fun part.
Yeah. Yes.
Ah. Going on to number four question. Name three of your favorite films from, past to present and future, of
Okay.
course.
So I would have to say one of my oldest favorite movies of all time is E.T. because um, I just, first of all, I've always like looked up to Spielberg and his career and his journey, but it, that movie I feel like is just perfect. It's perfect storytelling. It just really is. It touches everything that you would want it to in like a family film, but also it's very whimsical. It's very like we're dealing with an alien and this kid, and it's just, I don't know, it's such a beautiful film. And then I mentioned this film earlier, but Beetlejuice is another one of my all-time favorite films because
Yep.
it's so stylized, and the way that they, Tim Burton's earlier stuff is just, it's so special in a way where, like you said, no one does that. They just really don't. And then Scream. It's funny because it's like Scream was the horror film that like inspired me to want to do like films in general. And I would always make horror films as kids. Like me and my friend even started creating like the Scream movies because we were so obsessed. But I don't know. I also love, that franchise, but also the fact that that kind of like the rebirth thing of like that horror genre. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it was like kind of disappearing, like not horror in general, but like that sort of like world wasn't there anymore. It was weird. Like horror wasn't as huge as it is now because it was like once Scream happened, then like I Know What You Did Last Summer happened, and like all that whole genre just became
Yeah.
thing.
I
Yeah.
totally know what you mean.
Yeah. So yeah, those are like probably like my top 3 films.
Oh, I'm appreciative that you have Scream on there because I always appreciate Scream just because it was, different from, the Michael Myers and the Freddy Kruegers and stuff like that. It was a bit more, I want to say, kind of had more of just a tiny bit realism a bit, to it.
Yeah.
So,
And it was like, it was very modern too. Like at the time, it was like, it's making fun of itself in like the best type of way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it was definitely like fresh and new for the time. And I still think it just stands the test of time. Like people love that movie.
Right. You did hear they're going to make another one, correct?
Yes. So me and my producing partner, we were actually in Michigan when they were shooting Scream 4. So we were on set of Scream 4.
What?
Yeah, we were meeting with the producer there. And that was like a dream come true to me because I've obviously been obsessed with these films my entire life. And then, and then of course I knew about Scream 5 because I follow a lot of, these Scream people. But I didn't think it was going to happen because Nev Campbell did a lot of interviews and she was saying, yeah, since Wes Craven passed away, she's like, I just don't know if someone's going to be able to fulfill that vision that he had. And so now they finally like found the right time. All the 3 originals signed on. It's like, I'm so excited. I can't.
Me too. Oh God. I'm going to, that's going to be probably the first horror movie I've seen since this whole, in theaters, because I will definitely go in theaters and see it.
Oh me too. There's no way.
He said, oh, me too. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm so happy you love Scream because that's just so good.
I cannot wait for this new generation to see it because as a kid, it definitely freaked me out. So.
Me too, but also the director, you know who's directing it? It's the 2 guys, the brothers who did Ready or Not. Did you see that movie?
I have not. I definitely want to. I've heard great things about it. That's definitely on my list of scary movies to see. So, but I am excited to see who is going to fill, Wes Craven's, vision. So I'm excited, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good,
Well, you should watch Ready or Not since it's already on your list. But it's just the way that it's done is like, again, perfect balance of this dark comedy, but also like the gore and horror, but it's supposed to be more fun. And I feel like that's what the world that Scream lives in. You know what I mean? Where it's
exactly.
Yeah. And so I'm really excited to see what these 2 directors do.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Since the spooky season is coming up, Ready or Not is definitely on my list for sure. So yes. I do get prepared. All right, going on to the number 5 question. Colton, I want to make sure my audience follows you and your work. Where are you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram just at Colton Tran, and I have a website, it's just coltontran.com, and that will kind of link you to my film work, links to like stuff that's available now. And like also it connects to my art page because I make art out of broken vinyl. And it has links to all my stuff there that you could see, trailers to the feature that we're gonna release soon. And yeah. Oh, also I have I directed a music video for Disney Channel like 2 weeks ago, and it is premiering this next month in October for Halloween. So I'll keep updated with that. Yeah, so I'll give you a link when it's released, or when I know the day it's gonna premiere.
I'm excited. Ooh, make sure you keep me posted because I definitely want to know. Ooh.
Yeah, it's fun. This one is very like Beetlejuice-esque. It's like their bridge into their new animated series, and so it was really cool for them to let me direct something with this style because when we were done with it, they were like, Colton, Disney never lets us branch out and do something this more stylized. So they're like, it's really, really cool that they're allowing this vision to happen. And so it was a really cool experience.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
goodness. Which goes on, I cannot wait to hear more. Which goes on to my next question. What more future projects are you involved with that you can dish about to the J Lounge audience?
So that the Disney Channel one I was just mentioning to you, and then I so I don't know if you know who Jeanette McCurdy is, but her and I
Mm-hmm.
she was on iCarly. So her and I've been friends with her for like 12 years now, but we wrote this movie together called Eight Bodies, and it's like a dark comedy, sort of like Ready or Not. Like I was telling you, it's about this married couple. It was played by her and then my friend Matt Shively, and they go on this road trip, and they accidentally hit someone and kill them. They're like, oh my gosh! But then, like, as soon as they find out that he's dead, a number one ticker pops up, and so when that happens, you realize the movie's called Eight Bodies, so there's like 8 deaths, but basically they're trying to cover it up, and then like it's funny. But we have an investor funding the feature film of that, so now we've just been dealing with like rewrites and casting, and that is really exciting. And then I have another feature film that I wrote. It's called Sketch, and it's like probably one of my most passionate project right now. And my friend Lance Bass is producing it, and so we are just trying to find the right producers and right team to lift it off the ground in the right way, because it's a very stylistic horror film, and I want to make sure it's done right.
Oh
So
my gosh, that sounds exciting! And I did not know she was doing, writing movies like that. So I cannot wait to see it.
yeah, she will. Her and I wrote the short together. I finished doing the feature together, but she started doing. She always has wanted to do directing and producing and whatnot. So I edited her last short film that she just did. But she's doing a lot. Her style is different than mine. Hers is a little more like, it's drama, but it's like dark, like because I feel like she finds her sweet spot in like making fun of serious issues and making them kind of like shining light onto it instead of making it so serious.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that she kind of does it, and it works really well, and I'm really excited to see what more she has. But yeah, like when our first collaboration together before Eight Bodies was her web series. It's right after iCarly ended. Oh no, it was right after Sam and Cat ended, and she wrote a 4-episode web series that she was like, dude, will you direct this? And so she started in it, of course, wrote them all, and that was like her first like going into creating her own content, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it. I'm pretty sure, like everybody else, binge watch iCarly. Let's not admit that we haven't. We all have. So I'm going to do something like everybody else. Let's not pretend like we haven't, because we have. I was one of them. So I was. So I pushed my brother off the couch. So when iCarly came on, he knows, at the time. So I'm just going to say this. We all knew it. So anyways, I'm really excited to see it. And I'm excited to see what more creativity she's got for filmmaking. So yeah, got a dynamic duo here. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So going on to the next question, what goals do you hope to one day accomplish in your filmmaking career?
One of the biggest goals that I wanted to accomplish this year was directing my first feature film. I had directed one back when I was 18, back in Utah, but it was something that I would never, be shopping to these big studios like I am with this one. Like, it's like I'm in a great place where I'm really looking forward to creating more feature film content. And I have a couple of like TV series ideas, and I would like to get one of those, get a showrunner attached to one of those this year, and like, just keep pushing myself to do like bigger things, and also find myself getting better with every single project, because every single thing I've done, I see that I'm growing and becoming better and better at what you do, which I think is how it should be. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's been a cool progression to see that happen. Like even the Disney thing I was telling you about, they've premiered music videos that I've done before, because Dove Cameron is also one of my friends, and her and I were in a Disney movie together. So that was like a whole thing on its own. But then I started directing all of her music videos, which were premiering on Disney, which was such a cool thing to have happen. Like 6 years ago when we started.
Yeah, of course.
But then now it's like they've approached me just like personally for a video that is unrelated to any of my friends, and it's just like we want you to direct this because this is right up your alley. It's like a Halloween video, but also kind of dark, and we want it like fun and whimsical. So I just want to keep seeing progression, you know what I mean, with my work.
Yes.
So yeah, that's my biggest goal, is to keep doing that.
Yes, love it. Progression.
Yes.
I love it. That's what I definitely like to see, especially here, because that's what I think of myself. I think each podcast gets better and better and better, progressive.
Amazing. I love that. No, seriously, like to be doing with anyone, like I tell them, I'm like, you just need to do it. Like if you just do something, then that's what you're doing. And as long as you said like you're getting better and progressing, I think it's such a cool thing. And if you have a passion for something, you know, you never know how long this life is going to be. I think you should always like go for it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Always go for it, no matter what.
Yeah.
I like that. Coming up to next 3 questions here for you, Mr. Colton. Coming at number 9. What are some of your passions outside of filmmaking?
Ooh. I don't have it. Just kidding. No. Can you? No. It's funny because like seriously, growing up and knowing what I wanted to do at such a young age, it's like I feel like I have a great sense of direction. Yeah, with my work and with that, because that's a big part of my life is film. But I do have a passion for art in general as well. And like I was kind of mentioned, I make artwork out of broken vinyl, like records, and I've done that since I first moved to LA. And I've had a lot of my friends be very supportive about it. Like I go to art shows with my art as well. So that's something I love to do outside of film. I also, again, I love Halloween like so much that my house is decorated like a haunted mansion all year round. It's it literally is hilarious, but like I love to create, like get-togethers or events or whatever all my birthday parties. My birthday's in January, but it's always a Halloween party or like something related to that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I also love to travel a ton. I went to Spain and Tokyo last year, or no, the year before that.
Wow.
I just love traveling, and my family loves it as well. My mom actually works for the airlines, and so we've always done a lot of traveling, and I want to do more of that this year.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. Being stuck inside for 6 months, I would want to do some traveling too. Just
Well,
saying.
It's just, thank goodness that I have 2 dogs too, because like they really keep you like entertained. You know what I mean? Because like, especially this whole weird quarantine thing, you're like, what is like?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
It's
think
insane.
people that have had pets, it was easier for them, you know.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. I got a cat, so it was easy to write out this whole quarantine thing. So, yeah, totally get you on that one. Coming up to the final 2 questions. Coming up to our next one. What advice would you give an up and coming filmmaker?
I would give seriously the advice of just telling them, like I had told you just a second ago, to just. This was a quote that James Cameron said one time, and I thought this was really amazing because this is kind of how it was for me. We wanted to start making movies, and so he mentored us. But even if he didn't have someone to do that, he's like, James Cameron said, you pick up a camera and you film something, you're now a filmmaker. You act in something, now you're an actor. What you do and what you say you do and want to do, that's what you are now. And I think that's such a cool thing. That's cool. And I would tell anyone to like own what they want to do, own what they want to be. And because it's really powerful, people's image and of you. Like if I asked you, like, so I met you just on the street and like, so what do you do? Like, well, I own a podcast and that's like, oh, awesome. And instead of like, well, I want to do a podcast and I'm sort of doing, what I'm saying? Like, it's like it's definitely a mindset and a confidence, and people really relate to that. And I think that they respect it. And just like keep a really good positive energy, because I think, again, when I'm directing something, I've witnessed directors who, I don't know if they really understand, but some of them throw around their weight in a way where it's like, I'm directing this, so I'm like, and all of a sudden they're yelling and they're like doing who knows what. And it's like, as soon as you start treating people like that, or like creating that energy on set, people don't want to work as hard. So for me, it's like, I'm like walking around like smiling at everyone, like, and like still getting all my work done, and always done like under schedule as well. But I just think when people want to work and they're happy in their environment, they're going to work really hard for you. And so yeah, that's some of my main points of advice, because they've been really beneficial for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I agree with, if you treat people that way, they're not going to work hard for you. I definitely agree with that for sure.
Yeah, it's like that, and people's time is, everyone's just so it's so valuable. And like also like people respect you as a creative if you can handle yourself under pressure like that as well. Like if I have an issue on set, I you'll pull someone aside and be like, hey, so da, da, da. Like as soon as you snap, it's like a domino effect. Everyone's like, holy crap. And like then then again, they don't want to work as hard. And then they're like, and then again, your reputation, it's like, you don't want that to be tarnished. So
yeah, I agree.
that's too small of a town in
Mm-hmm.
especially the film industry. It's like word travels fast. So you want to be one of those people that they want to work with.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. All right, coming up to the last question there, Colton. I know you named Tim Burton as one of your favorite directors, but could you name two other of your favorite directors and why?
Yes. So Tim Burton, for obvious reasons, his style just inspires me so much, and his films began with some other. So his stuff's inspired by films, the styles like German Expressionism, and like Metropolis and The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Those are earlier films that inspired his style, and like I love all those films as well. And if you've never seen any of them, they're silent, but I think they have music actually, but they're just so stylistic, and like that's a whole world that I love, and that's why I love Tim Burton. One of my other favorites of all time is Wes Craven, but he passed away obviously. But he, like we were talking about Scream, one of his first films of all time was Nightmare on Elm Street, and that movie to me is like, that franchise is just so special and different because again,
Mm-hmm.
it's living in a dream world where Freddy comes to you in your sleep, and like so you can, it's almost kind of like Beetlejuice in a way where it's like it's a fantastical idea where all of a sudden he's coming through, he's pulling you through the bed, or it's like all these weird things that wouldn't be able to happen in real life. And I think that's such a cool, fun way to mesh horror, is something, extravagant like that in the way that they make it scary. Like I think that he's been genius with his career, with the way that he did Nightmare on Elm Street, and the films that he did, and also bringing back a new fresh take on horror, even though he created one of the most iconic killers of all time, like Freddy, and then he also created Ghostface. It's like, to be able to be behind those two things is pretty amazing. And then my last one is Guillermo del Toro, because
Yay!
I just love the balance that he's kind of found. I think he's clearly, has like that whimsical, like Burton-ish vibe, but he has found a way to make his stuff scary. Tim Burton's is not scary, and that's why I love his stuff, because I love that families can see Tim Burton's work and just you in this whole magical world. But Guillermo's found a way to make it actually scary, and like images are really disturbing, but it's like beautiful at the same time. And that's kind of the world where I want to live more, is like the darker whimsical that is on the verge of scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes, I love his work. I've been a huge fan of his work since Pan's Labyrinth, so I've just been obsessed.
Yeah,
so
good. And also, did you see Crimson Peak?
yes,
That
I
movie
did.
great.
That was one of my favorites. I loved it. I know that wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but I thought that was great. Honestly.
Yeah, because it was a little like slow burny, like but it was just beautiful. And I also love that, because one of my friends is Doug Jones, and he plays, he's a creature actor, so he's been in Pan's Labyrinth. He was like the woman in the water. He also played in Shape of Water the creature, and Hocus Pocus. He played Billy, the zombie.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he's such a cool guy, and but it's just, I love seeing those sort of monster movies, because he's in a lot of them, and he works very closely with Guillermo. So yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's mind blowing to me. That is mind blowing to me, because I cannot even start my Halloween season without Hocus Pocus. I don't even want to think about it. It's not even Halloween for me if I don't have my Hocus Pocus. My whole family knows this.
Same. We actually, one of my friends, she was actually the lead actress in the feature I just did, and she had never seen Hocus Pocus or Scream or any horror or like anything. We're like, what? Where have you been? Like,
where have you been?
Literally. So like, we just every Thursday night we've been having a scary movie night, or like watching Hocus Pocus, or things like that. So it's gonna be fun. And
oh my gosh, one day we gotta make it into fruition. We all can enjoy a Halloween movie marathon.
Yes, and there's not many, besides Hocus Pocus, there's not too many Halloween movies. And so like my friend who wrote the last thing I just did. He wrote this script called "A Haunting We Will Go," and it's very like in the vein of Hocus Pocus and like Goosebumps and like. So that's one other project that I want to try to get off the ground because I feel like people are lacking there. Like people are needing that sort of Halloween content because it's just there's not much of it.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. So we definitely need more of it. I mean, we definitely need more of it. And I just want to thank, I'm just glad that, filmmakers like Jordan Peele
Mm-hmm.
are turning the horror genre upside down and
Me too.
bringing us something fresh and then, letting people know that horror genre, is more than just blood and guts. It can be smart. It can be,
Smart.
really
Yep.
brilliant, complex. It all can depend on how you put it all together. So,
Yep.
yeah, those are my favorite types of scary movies.
Like scary movies. Yeah, like psychological. I love that too. And when we released my horror the feature I was telling you about, it's called Snowfalls. Uh, I'll let you know because it's one of those psychological ones. It's not about like the gore or like it's not about a killer or something paranormal like a demon or anything. It's psychological. That your own mind can be your worst enemy. You know what I mean? And I think
Right.
that's I love those sort of movies.
Oh yeah, please send that over. Send that right on over because that is something that is up my alley for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
will.
that's something I'll definitely look out for. Ah, Mr. Colton, it has been an absolute pleasure talking with you. It's really rare for me to speak with someone who has the same level and appreciation of horror films like I do. So that was refreshing and nice, and I appreciate you for that.
Of course, I'm glad we were able to do it and talk, and it was so great. It was nice meeting you.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, everyone, you guys know, I am your hostess with the most, Miss J from the J Lounge, and I will be bringing you guys another great episode of the J Lounge here soon. I definitely want to thank everyone for listening in. I want to thank, of course, my special guest, Mr. Colton Tran. Make sure you guys check him out on social media and continue to check out his upcoming projects as well. But until then, everyone, I want to thank you guys for listening for one more time, and I will be back here soon. Until then, everyone have a beautiful day. Bye.